Hello everyone, I'm Ishan Sharma. Hope you're doing great. On this episode of BITScast, I have Dundorf, who was recently featured on Gary Vee's Tea with Gary Vee show.
Do you have the patience to pull it off? Because
Absolutely.
the thing that you'll need to do is do things that build up the credibility for the messaging to land.
Absolutely. I absolutely believe in that. And it's not a tomorrow thing. It's something that I'm doing for the rest of my life. If this is what I'm going to be doing, and maybe I make it when I'm 80 years old and I make a difference in someone's life, that's what I'm here for. And that's what I'm going to be going for it.
And in this episode of BITScast, we learned about how you can make sure that you have an amazing morning routine, a nightly routine, and also talking about journaling, about meditation, just about maintaining a great well-being of yourself as a person in this distracted world where everyone is, spending their days and their life scrolling on Instagram and all that. Make sure that you watch the video till the very end. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video. And let's get into the video now. Hello, Katie. Thanks a lot for joining me for this podcast interview on BITScast. How are you doing there? Good morning.
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I actually, I was listening to a lot of podcasts and I was, watching a lot of videos today, just trying to, get as much done as possible because this quarantine time really has been efficient for me. That's what I'm up to.
Yeah.
What are you doing
That's
these
awesome.
days?
So I've also been kind of sucking up every moment of quarantine to learn and to experience and to connect with new people. So I've really been enjoying that. And I think it's so interesting how some people obviously are not doing so well in quarantine, but others like you and I are just using that time to create and learn. So that's awesome.
I think this is actually a really amazing time right now because we have never been so free, and we can literally do whatever we want to in this particular time, and we would never ever have that kind of freedom ever. Because I have my own college. I'm a freshman in in my college. I'll be going into my second year now, and obviously I'm having 3 to 4 months of free time. So I'm just trying to learn about web development and doing these podcasts, and so just trying to talk to as many people as possible. I also talked to Reina Rose.
Yeah, awesome. I love Reina. She's my girl. I love her.
I love her. She's actually really energetic, and her vibe is just amazing, I think.
Oh, for sure. She's been one of my favorite people I've connected with. She's my internet sister, so we're joined at the hip in that way, or at least in virtual terms.
What would be your suggestion for people that want to be productive during this time?
Be productive.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I think that's a great question. And this is something that I've kind of been learning because I went through a different wave where I was being really unproductive to then going into this cycle where I was being super productive. So I definitely lived on both sides, and the kind of turning point for me was creating a schedule for my mornings and my nights. So the way I look at it is if I can be rigid with the routines I put in place for my mornings and my nights, then it opens up freedom in the middle of my day to do what I want and to be more productive. So for me, that morning routine has been taking into account doing meditation practice, doing stretching every morning, and just doing one thing every morning that kind of gets me ready for the day. And I'm really religious about that. So every single morning, I'm trying to do that meditation practice, to do that journaling, to do that one thing that gets me excited and ready for the day. And a similar process at night, instead of energizing me, I'll do something that slows my day down and puts me in a place of reflection. So a lot of times for me, I've created a routine to journal at night. And that just gives me a great opportunity to look over my day and make sure that if there's any lessons I can soak up, if there's any things I can be grateful for, I take that time to do that. But I think no matter what you do, having routines in place that add a level of just routine and structure can be really, really helpful, even if they're small things. So I think adding those routines and structure into the beginning and end of your day can help you be a lot more productive and energized for the rest of your day.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's actually really important to realize, because a lot of times, even with me, it has happened that, I would just get up in the morning and I would have my phone at my side and I'll just pick it up and I'll
Yeah.
start scrolling through LinkedIn and my email and all that stuff. And I'll be like spending like the first 20 minutes of my day checking out stuff. And, I think that is just not the right way to go about it. But of course, I'm trying to get as much better at it as possible. So I try to, put my phone away from my room so that I would actually get up in the morning, get some exercise done. I'm actually a huge fan of Robin Sharma, and he talks about the 20-20-20 formula. You must have seen Robin Sharma talk about that, right?
Yeah, I have a little bit.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But
And what does your morning look like? When do you get up?
When do I get up? So it kind of changes day to day, but most of the time I'll get up around 8, sometimes a little earlier than that. So I am giving my time. I am a big believer in getting enough sleep. I don't believe that in this grind culture that says you can only get 4 hours of sleep because otherwise you're wasting time. I truly believe that sleep is so important, and it does so much for your brain and for your body. So I try and go to bed around 12 and wake up around 8, so then I can get that full 8 hours of sleep to really prepare me for each day. And for me, that's the schedule I've worked out, but sometimes I'll wake up earlier if I go to bed a little earlier, but I'll always maintain that minimum of 8 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I was actually reading this book called as Why We Sleep, and in that he was talking about the importance of taking at least 8 hours proper sleep, and only then you will have complete, well-being and all that. I think it's really powerful, and this is something that I only realized once I came back to home, like right now here, away from my college room and all that. So right now I'm obviously getting 8 hours because I don't have much work to do over here. But back at college, I used to get like 6 hours or like even less than that at times. So that was a bit of a rough time, I would say.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And I've learned this. I was not always someone who would get 8 hours of sleep, and I totally see the difference from getting 4 or 5, 6 hours of sleep to not getting a proper amount. And it really, there's so much science behind it of why, with your brain connection that, reaps a reward. But I think it really, really is so important to prioritize that sleeping time so then you can be more productive throughout the day and get what you want done.
That's great. And what does your night routine look like before you go to sleep?
So my nightly routine definitely consists of something to kind of slow my brain down. So again, that journaling is a really awesome piece where I will journal about the things I'm grateful for, journal about the things that happened in my day, the best parts and the worst parts and what I'm learning from it. And what's also amazing about that is it's a really nice time for me to reconnect with my day and then put that to bed at the end of the day. So when I restart, I'm starting fresh and brand new, and I can put all of those bad things aside and just say, you know what, they're written in my journal, we're done for that day. And you can move on and carry those lessons and those things that you're grateful for into the next day.
Yeah, that's actually really good because first of all, when did you start to journal?
When did I start to journal? I started journaling, I want to say close to 7 years ago. So I've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, actually, even I started back in 5th class, like when I was in 5th grade. My father handed me this, dear diary, and he was like, you have to write it every day. And I was like, no way, I'm not going to write that. And he literally just forced me to do that. But obviously slowly, and once I started writing for like 5 to 6 months, I started realizing that this is actually a pretty good thing. And now when I look back, I have a lot of free time right now. So I just picked up my diary from 2015 or something, and I was reading about what I used to do every single day. And that was like so much fun. I started crying at times, and I would like laugh a little bit and all that. It's an amazing experience, I would say. Definitely everyone should journal, I think. It's an amazing experience, man.
Oh, it really is. And I love those times when you're exactly like you said, you're looking back on the journals that you've written in the past. Like, those are the most fun times. I have a journal that I've had since maybe 2010. So a little bit more than that, 7 years, obviously. So I've loved that journal because I would write in it maybe every 6 months. So I have this log of my entire life, or a big part of my life. And it's so fun to look back on it and see how much you've changed and see the things that were important to you at that point in your life. And it's just really cool. I love journaling.
Awesome. And what is, if I would ask you, what would be your one word right now? Because I was actually, like today itself, I was watching this interview with Rory Vaden, who is basically who builds brands for other people. And he was talking about finding your one word that you can relate, that other people can relate to you. Like even Carmichael has his one word as believe. He says believe, and that is the reason that he's able to amass such a big following for himself. What do you think? Like, you want to build a community, right? So what, elaborate a little bit on that.
Oh, that's a great question. And I love kind of picking those. For me, I pick what I call mission statements, which are just a collection of words kind of remind me what my mission is, what my goals are. So I love that type of work where you're kind of summarizing what you're doing in a word or a few words in a sentence. So that's really hard because I have a couple words that I think come to mind. One being inspire, because I think so much of what I'm trying to do is to build a community that not only am I inspiring people to live a more meaningful life, but I want others to inspire each other with the work that they're doing and the community we're building, just to inspire people and get them energized. Because I think when you create content that really like energizes people, inspires them, it really unlocks that potential of where they can do and use their gifts to do whatever they want. So I think inspire is definitely a word I would choose. Otherwise, community or authentic would be words. Community, obviously, because I'm trying to build that community, and authentic because I think that's the promise I'm making to other people, that I'm going to show up as my most authentic self. Because I think if everyone can make that promise, the world would be so incredibly beautiful and bright, even more than it already is. Because so many people put on masks and hide who they truly are. But if they showed up as their most authentic self, they have so much beauty to bring. They have so much insights to bring. They have so much to bring to the world, showing their authentic self. So that's definitely really core to me.
Yeah. I really enjoy this quote that I read a while ago, which was like, be you, everyone else is taken. I think it's really something to think about. Yeah. It's amazing.
Oh, for sure. I love that.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how your life has changed after talking to Gary Vee, because, I've been, watching his videos from 2020, January. And since then I've been like, let's get it going. I started my own podcast, started doing, producing content at scale on multiple social platforms, on YouTube and all that stuff. And right now I'm doing like 5 to 6 videos every single week on YouTube. It's just been a grind.
Oh my God, that's amazing, bro.
That's
so cool.
I'm just trying to offer as much value as possible. I want to know what has changed inside of you before talking to him and after talking to him.
I love that. So I love how you put what's changed inside of me instead of around me, because there's so much change that's happened around me, but there's also so much change that's happened inside me. And I think what's really important for me to realize is that like so much has changed, but yet it was all there. Like the things that he kind of awoke in me were things that were always there, but maybe were lying dormant. So I just, after talking with him, I felt this sense of freedom, like I could do anything, and that like the world was finally open to me. And that was so cool. And it was the first time that I really felt like the dreams that I had been planning about and that I had been dreaming of for so many years could finally start to happen, and I could finally start to take action with them. But I think a really important realization I had was that Gary Vee was just kind of the catalyst for me to realize those things in real time, but they were always there, like they were always a part of my belief system. I just never took action on them. So I think it changed my surroundings a lot and the things around me because I started taking action on the things that were already inside me.
Mhm. That's really insightful. And also, I think that he talks about stuff that is so simple. I mean, he makes everything really
Yeah.
simple, right? He's like, it is so simple. And every single time people are like, how do I do this? How do I do that? His answer is always pretty much the same. And it still puts people off. And they're like, oh, is that something that I could have done? All right, sure, I'll do that.
Oh, for sure. Because I think so many people overthink things. Like I'm a culprit of that. I do that all the time. Where like instead of finding the simple solutions, we make things really complicated. And he is so amazing at just cutting through everything and saying like, yo, here's what you have to do. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what I need you to do. And people do it and they'll have fantastic success because he just simplifies things and breaks it down in a way that's so appealing to people.
Awesome. All right. Thanks a lot for joining me here. I want to ask you one last question. What are you most excited about right now going into this new decade?
What am I most excited about? So I'm excited for new opportunities, man. I don't know exactly what the future is going to hold. And I think that's amazing. Like, I just have a feeling like the next chapter of my life is going to be the most inspiring and the best time of my life. And I'm just so excited for whatever the future holds and to really move with that and rock with it. And so I'm just excited for it.
Do you have a long-term vision of where you want to see yourself, or are you thinking about the short term? Like, I want to see myself in like the next 3 months, I'll be doing this. What does that look like?
I think I have a mix of both. I think I know exactly who I want to be in the long term, but I don't know exactly how to get there, and I don't know exactly what that looks like for me yet. So to kind of explain that further, like I have this vision of myself living out of purpose and living an incredibly energized life where every single morning I'm waking up, I'm excited to live, I'm adding value to other people's lives, I'm inspiring them, I'm just living this life that I absolutely love in a place of gratitude. But in actualization, like that life can be lived in so many different ways, and I'm still in the short term finding the ways that can get me there. So I'm still finding the vehicles that will bring me to the life that I love. And I'm still finding the ways to connect with people, to inspire them, to add value to their lives. So there are so many unknowns, but again, I'm holding on to that macro vision of what I want and kind of using that to reverse engineer the small decisions and focusing on the seconds in my day instead of the years.
All right. Best of luck to you. One more question I have. What sort of meditation do you do? I mean, there are actually multiple meditations that you can do, right? Like I myself, when I was in my 11th grade, I was taught by some people that you should actually have like a mantra, like, and you should actually say that again and again and again just to bring your focus together. Some people think that they should, just feel their thoughts and feel their breath. Or actually some people should focus on a flame, for example, like a candle is burning and there's a flame and they're looking at that, imagining that. What sort of meditation do you do?
So I'm still kind of exploring all different types of meditation, but right now I'm doing guided meditations where I'm mostly working on breath work, so focusing my work on my breath, but then also I'll totally bring in that mantra idea where I'll kind of breathe in and out a mantra. So I do a little bit of both, but I definitely love that mantra work. And that to me is kind of the most powerful to me, because for me to focus solely on my breath, it's really easy for me to get distracted. But when I'm focusing on a mantra, it's a lot easier for me to just focus all of my energy on that. And I find a lot more value coming out of those words and those intentions.
All right. Thanks a lot for joining me here, Katie. I hope the audience will be able to learn a lot from this podcast episode that we just did. Again, best of luck to you. I hope you achieve what you always wanted to. And thanks a lot for joining me here. And I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you. I love this. This was so much fun.
So that was Caitlin Dundorf. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about this video and what was the one thing that really struck with you in the comment section below. And also, if you're enjoying the series so far, make sure that you go to Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating. It just means the world to me. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Till then, stay safe, stay home, and bye.